is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, apparently our secret is out, okay? Our secret is no longer safe. The Lions have no talent.
I have no talent.
I have no talent.
For the 2020 NFL season. Wait, hold up. Who is saying this stuff? Let's get it started. Welcome in, everybody, to another video. Glad you guys are here, and I thought this was the perfect time to make a video like this as soon as the NFL Top 100 just ended. But before we get it started, as usual, we have to go check out the comment of the day. Let's go over there. All right, so this comment fits perfectly with this video, so I had to use it. Shout out to the Nixter Gaming for this comment. If you guys want to have a chance to be on the next comment of the day, make sure you stay active in the comment section, man. I pick random ones or ones that I feel like fit well, and this one fit really well. Basically says this: screw them all. I hope they keep the same energy before the season. We taking over. Yes, sir. Shout out to Nixter Gaming, man. I talked to him a ton on Instagram. I love this comment. It fits perfectly with today's video. So recently we've seen the NFL Top 100 drop, right? Where players are voting on other players in the NFL. Then earlier we saw the CBS NFL Top 100 drop. And in those two lists, the Lions got absolutely no love. Through all of these mainstream lists, the Lions haven't seen much love at all. And all of a sudden it's drawing people to a conclusion in the narrative that, oh, well, the Lions just don't have talent then for the 2020 NFL season. But I think we need to take a step back and first off realize who is actually making these lists, what these lists are actually about, and two, talk about the Lions roster and really discover whether or not the Lions have talent on their roster. Okay, so let's start it off. Okay, so the NFL Top 100 recently just ended. I did a video reacting to why Matthew Stafford and Kenny Galladay weren't there. Why aren't they there? Now, some people look at this list and they take this list very seriously. Like, oh, here are the top 100 players. This is it. Like, this is the top 100 players in the NFL. But that's not it, okay? The NFL Top 100 is clearly a popular vote. And that is okay. That's what it is. It's not meant to base the best 100 players on the league based on analytics, stats, nothing like that. It's simply who players like the Pro Bowl. You know how people vote for the people that get in these all-star games and stuff like that? That's all this is. It doesn't mean you're the best player or the great player because you're on his list. It simply means that you're popular. That's what it is. A comment that went right to my point. Someone saying that, oh, well, you know, a lot of these players are voting for players they see a lot, players they go against, players that they like, players that are on successful teams. And that is exactly right because that's what this is. I've even heard some reports of people saying, hey, yeah, I just vote for my friends or people maybe that I'm related to that are also in the NFL, because it's not about the best 100 players. It's simply the players that other players are voting for, players that they think are good. And we already heard Dan Orlowski talk about this, saying that, hey, look, you just kind of write down a couple of names that are off the top of your head and he's give it to him and say, hey, you go figure the rest out. It's not about the top 100 players in the league, but some people take it so seriously that other players are simply just voting on other players that they like, that now all of a sudden the Lions don't have talent because they didn't appear on here. When clearly, when the video that we talked about yesterday, Matthew Stafford was way more talented than tons of other quarterbacks that landed on that list, and yet he wasn't there. We've already talked about that. If you guys want a longer video on just the NFL Top 100 list, go check out yesterday's video. Now, the other list that has recently came out, which has also given a lot of people the reason to say Lions don't have talent, is the CBS Top 100. The CBS Top 100 came out where that was supposed to rank the 100 best players in the NFL heading into next season. Is that it was made by one guy from CBS, Pete Prisco. Pete Prisco had the opinions, and he made this huge list of the top 100 players in the NFL. Yet, for some reason, people cannot look at this and understand that it's one person own opinion. This is one person. Just like it's my own opinion when I say things, this is one person. Just because Pete Prisco says that here's the top 100 players in the NFL, why is Pete Prisco's opinion bigger than anybody else's opinion, okay? Why does what Pete Prisco looks at as the top 100 have any more leg to stand on than anyone else's list of a top 100? If I made a top 100, it's just like Pete Prisco's. It's simply my own opinion based on numbers and stats. So when I look at these two things, we can't take these super seriously because the NFL Top 100 just isn't the top 100 players in the NFL, and that's okay. That's not what it's meant to be. I mean, it kind of is, but that's not what it is. And then CBS Top 100 is literally one person's opinion. So because of two main articles that has came out saying that the Lions have no players in the top 100, all of a sudden the narrative is that the Lions have no talent. Now, us as Lions fans, we know what the Lions have did this offseason. We know what's on the roster. And if we're really going to look at this and say that the Lions have no talent, we are clearly lying to ourselves. So what did I do? Well, I looked for a site that uses numbers, analytics, things like that. And I think the best one we can look at is Pro Football Focus. Pro Football Focus uses data, stats, play-by-play stats. Every single play counts for Pro Football Focus. For example, this is what they said about how they rank their quarterback. That they rank quarterbacks based on every throw, timing, decision-making, accuracy, and more. Against the pass coverages they're going against. Zone, man, blitz, whatever it may be. All of that goes into a single play. Yet, we're taking the opinion of Pete Prisco over that. Now, again, it's an opinion. Things are going to change. This is not 100% end-all be-all. Like, hey, if I'm ranked 8th, you're the 8th best quarterback. Obviously, there's always going to be different opinions and different thoughts. However, I think I'm going to use this one because this one at least has stats, analytics, plays, things like that. It's not just one person's opinion. It's not a simple popular vote. So let's use Pro Football Focus for the sake of this video, and let's determine whether or not the Lions actually have talent on their roster. Let's do it, okay? So what I decided to do was look at a team that's recognized as one of the most talented teams in the NFL. That is the Kansas City Chiefs, and compare the Detroit Lions roster to the Kansas City Chiefs by group for the 2020 NFL season, according to Pro Football Focus. Let's see what PFF has to say about the Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. Now, we've already seen articles of PFF saying that the Lions may have the best roster in the North. We've seen other articles from the Football Outsiders saying that the Lions, Matthew Stafford, could be a dark horse MVP. These analytics sites believe in the Lions a lot more than Pete Prisco. Let's use PFF to compare some positions, all right? Let's start off at the quarterback position heading into the 2020 NFL season. Now, these are the quarterback rankings at the end of last season heading into the Super Bowl, okay? This is where each quarterback ranked according to Pro Football Focus. For the Detroit Lions, they had Matthew Stafford ranked in as the 8th quarterback in the league, while counting in the fact that he missed 8 games. So while everybody wants to look at that top 100 and say, well, he's not in there because, Matthew Stafford was injured, we also established the fact that J.J. Watt played in 8 games, only had 4 sacks, and he's in the top 100. Matthew Stafford, yes, he had an injury, but Pro Football Focus can still recognize that he was a top talent, and even with an injury, he still comes in the top 10 as the 8th best quarterback. NFL organizations and coaches have ranked Matthew Stafford as the 9th best quarterback in the NFL. And me personally, I've ranked him as the 5th or 4th best quarterback in the NFL, wherever you want to put him. But again, that's my opinion, okay? That's just how I look at it, just like a guy like Pete Prisco would for the CBS NFL Top 100. Where do they rank the Kansas City Chiefs? They have Patrick Mahomes as the number 2 quarterback in the NFL behind Russell Wilson. I think that's pretty much interchangeable between Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a monster. Patrick Mahomes is super exciting. Both those guys are great. So again, you can see there, Matthew Stafford's listed as a top 10 quarterback. I would say that's some talent at the quarterback position. But this is a point for the Kansas City Chiefs, 1-0. We're going to go through all positional groups, baby. Let's hop on to the running back position for the 2020 NFL season. With the Lions' additions of DeAndre Swift and the Kansas City's addition of Edwards-Helaire, they rank the Detroit Lions as the 15th best running back core heading into the 2020 NFL season. They mentioned that Kerryon Johnson at one point averaged 5.4 yards per carry, graded out extremely well in his rookie year, but has had injury problems since. They also talked about the depth that the Detroit Lions have with Ty Johnson, Bo Scarborough, 3.2 yards per carry after contact. 3.2 yards after contact. Okay, they talk about the Detroit Lions' depth, and I thought this made me just think of the, quote, strength in numbers, because while the NFL does you need to have talent on an NFL team to win games, you also need to have a combined effort. And in the NFL, which is the ultimate team sport with 22 players just between offense and defense, guys don't play both ways usually. Because of that, you need to have strength in numbers. 55 players on a roster. Offense, defense, and special teams with different players on each spot. So because of that, it's the ultimate team sport. You need to have good depth, and they showcase Detroit Lions depth here. This is why it's important, because while they may not have the top running back in the league, they do have really good depth at running back position, and have running back by committee is okay. Quarterback by committee can be a problem. Running back, not so much. Where do they rank the Chiefs? 17th. So the Detroit Lions are ranked higher at the running back position heading into the 2020 season. This is the Kansas City Chiefs, who just won the Super Bowl heading into 2020 season. We have a 1-1 tie right now. Let's move on to the receiver position group, where the Detroit Lions come in ranked 7th, just behind, you guessed it, the Kansas City Chiefs. With Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, all the receivers, all the tight ends, and all the running backs taken into account for this one when it simply comes to receiving. Detroit Lions are ranked 7th, just behind the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think you could definitely make a case the Detroit Lions should be ranked higher, and they could be ranked above the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the main reason that right now they are below the Chiefs is simply because the tight end position is such a big question mark. But when it comes to simply receiving core, everybody understands the Lions have a great receiving core. I mean, literally, just receiving core alone, when it comes to just wide receivers, you can make the case the Lions have the best wide receiver group in the NFL. I did a collaboration with all NFC North guys, and they all agreed the Detroit Lions have the best wide receiver group in the NFC North. So it's clear the Detroit Lions have talent. And if TJ Hockenson can start to live up to a little bit of that expectation of being a first-round draft pick, the Lions will definitely vault a lot of these people according to Pro Football Focus. So, as you can see, the Detroit Lions, the Kansas City Chiefs will get the point here, but the Detroit Lions are just behind them. Recognize that Kenny Galladay is one of the top receivers, but apparently Pete Prisco cannot. But anyways, let's keep it going. Let's move on to the offensive lineman position, okay? The offensive line, last season, the Lions at the end of the year came in ranked 11th in the league. That's not talented, okay. 11th in the league. Lost like Graham Glasgow and, some questionable pieces. We don't exactly know what we're going to get. They ranked the Detroit Lions mid of the pack, 16th in the NFL as an offensive line. That's not bad. That's solid. That's not bad. They're putting it average offensive line, as the Kansas City Chiefs came in ranked 12th in the league as an offensive line. So again, the Chiefs get a point here. It is a 3-1 score. The Chiefs are on top. But as you can see, once again, the Lions have not been below average at any positional group offensively, and they've actually ranked in the top 10 twice offensively. So now that I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, I guess the Lions don't have any talent. You guys are right. The Lions have no talent. Let's move on to the defensive side of the ball. Let's start off with the defensive line. Probably the biggest question mark with the Detroit Lions roster is the defensive line, and I think it's rightfully so. The Detroit Lions ranked 27th according to Pro Football Focus, as the Chiefs ranked 15th. I think that's a fair ranking, and again, they're not just being super biased here because I don't think they're Lions fans anyways. 27th in the league because a lot of question marks and losing Devon Kennard was their main reasons for that. So again, the Chiefs grab another point. It is currently 4-1. The Lions are not done yet. Let's continue on the defense side of the ball. Let's move on to the linebacker group, where the Detroit Lions rank 19th in the league according to Pro Football Focus heading into next season, with a big addition of Jamie Collins, while the Kansas City Chiefs rank 25th, which means the Lions, according to Pro Football Focus, have a better linebacking group heading into the 2020 NFL season. So that's 4-2. And then finally, we move on to the secondary. Now, it was not split into two like cornerbacks and safeties. If it was, I think the Lions would probably tie this thing up. But since it was just secondary as a whole, the Detroit Lions came in ranked 14th according to Pro Football Focus, which is better than the Kansas City Chiefs 23rd, which means the Detroit Lions are now trailing 3-4 in this race. And that's all we have. And having two positional groups in the top 10, including their quarterback, somehow this team does not have talent, I think I missed something here. How does this team not have talent? And if there was a cornerback and safety group, I think the Detroit Lions would have tied it up and took both of those rounds. Now, what is the big problem? Well, a lot of people look at it and say, well, Matt Patricia's bad. And because of that, because the Lions' history is struggling, because a lot of people don't believe Matt Patricia or Bob Quinn, they automatically can look at the Lions and say, you know what, they just don't have talent. But clearly, the Lions have talent. They arguably have tons of top players in the league. People forget Matthew Stafford is clearly a top 10 quarterback. In my eyes, he's a top 5 quarterback behind only Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, and Patrick Mahomes in a steady position. I think at times, Patrick Mahomes has been outplayed by Stafford in that game. We saw that. I think Matthew Stafford's up there with him being neck and neck with a guy like Aaron Rodgers. And then you have guys like Kirk Cousins, Deshaun Watson, who I think are also in that same realm. So again, that's an elite group that Matthew Stafford is in. Wide receiver group. You can make a case the Lions have the best wide receiving core in the league. You can make that case because it's proven and it's talented, and Kenny Galladay could have the biggest years of his career. And if you have a healthy Matthew Stafford, that receiver group is going to be absolutely scary, especially if TJ actually lives up to some of the hype that we were hoping for out of the former first-round pick. So you're telling me this team has no talent. You're telling me Matthew Stafford, Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, Frank Ragnow, Jamie Collins is not talent. How can you tell me that? And we just have a lot of players that all of a sudden we're kind of forgetting about, like a Tracy Walker, like a Deshaun Hand. We're forgetting about these little guys that because of injuries or maybe because they're still young and they're still growing their role, they could break out, right? We don't know what Big V is going to look like as a starter, but he could be a beast. That's one of the biggest question marks for Pro Football Focus. We just don't know about a lot of these pieces. We don't know if Swift could be the next best running back in the league. He could be, who is known as the best in college. The Lions have talent. So while everybody is right to their own opinion, and it's okay that Pete says the Lions don't have a top 100 player. It's okay the Lions weren't voted in the NFL top 100. My opinion is the Lions are talented. Your opinion is they may not be talented, but we have to understand that just because a few people say that the Lions don't have talent on their roster does not mean a dang thing. And also keep in mind, this again is a team sport. Strength in numbers. That's why there's no quarterback win as a stat. That's not a thing. It's a team sport. You need to win together and have great depth like the Lions do. And that's what we saw Football Outsiders even talk about. That is huge for the 2020 NFL season. So do the Lions have talent on the roster? I think so. Do you think the Lions have talent on their roster? You may not have to say, well, the Lions have 5 top 100 players, but it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Lions clearly have talent on the roster. They just need to put it together. So I just kind of wanted to end that narrative. This is kind of annoying. I'm also planning to do a Kevin Strong video next. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you, Brad, for watching, and I'm out.